Hey guys. All right, this is for my non-DP Path students. We are talking about your research paper and setting it up. There's a few things I wanted to go over, but first I want to tell you what's up with me. I'm still under quarantine. It's kind of a bad situation, mainly brought about because I normally suffer from what are minor symptoms, illness, just because of these guys here, and a couple of other anti-rejection medications that I'm on for my kidney transplant, which means that I get coughs, I get sore throat, especially in the winter. I'll get just like essentially a mild, what would never affect somebody with a normal immune system affects me at least a little bit and gives me a mild fever sometimes. In the past, I just worked through it. But with the COVID fear, I am under quarantine with these symptoms, so I'm stuck at home. I going to see a doctor soon to see if I can get permission, a sort of waiver in order to let them know this is normal. It's not COVID. I mean, I'm taking COVID tests, so we know it's not COVID. And come to campus. Hopefully that's soon, and I get back to normal. Um, Otherwise, we got to do class this way now. So it's kind of like it was the end of the year last year, where I'm going to essentially do my Zoom classes via video. You're going to upload in Schoology. I can't be at office hours. I am specifically forbidden from working at home. I don't know. There are various rules why that deal with the way Uplift handles substitutes and things. I don't even understand, but I know that I've been told specifically, you, Roger, do not work from home. I think it's because I might have worked from home on accident in the past. So here I am doing it this way. Let's hope this works, and let's hope I get back to the campus quickly. So what are we doing? Well, today we're talking about your assignments. Those of you who turned in, which is a very small percentage of my non-DP Path students have turned in work. It's less than half. So I want everybody to do these assignments, but there are a lot of redos or a lot of tweaking on what's under that first assignment. If you remember, the first assignment is where you pick your topic and ask 2 questions about it. So some things I want to go over with that, which I'll get to in a second. And the other thing we had was the sources. Everybody who completed the sources assignment, just about everybody, looked great. You guys are great at sourcing. You've got it down for the most part. We're good on that. But I'm not introducing phase 2 of sourcing. That'll be next week because I want to give everybody the opportunity to go and review their first assignment. Get a good grade on the first one because that might influence what sources you want to bring in. You might change your topic in such a way that you've got to do a new series of sources on the first question. You might even change your question. And so that changes this other assignment. So here's what I'm doing. We're going back to basics. We're going to redo our topics, redo our questions if needed. And basically, if you got 100, you don't need it. If you didn't get 100, try to bring it to 100 by fixing those topics and questions. And then we're going to redo our sources, but that's next assignment. So this assignment, all we're doing is if you haven't completed the topic and questions, do that. You're way late to the party. If you have completed those, then what I want you to do is go and check your grade in Schoology before I put it in the grade book. Check your grade in Schoology. If it's not a 100, look at my feedback. I give everybody written feedback and take a look at it and fix things appropriately and get a 100. So I'm just going to go over some things that I saw on these assignments. I'm not going to, well, yeah, I'm going to go over some things. So here we go. First thing is I had a few people choose hip hop. They basically just looked at my examples and said, oh yeah, hip hop, I'll do that. Okay, but from here on out, stay away from just doing that because some of the hip hop ones were interesting. They talked about dance and dance moves. I saw that. That was kind of interesting. But there were others that just essentially picked my topics. I'm going to push back on that and say you got to do something different. You got to do something very specific to your approach. I just want to say that. A lot of people got pushback from me whenever I said you need to be more specific, especially talking about when and where. Somebody might say, a lot of people did fashion. Somebody might say, I want to look at fashion across history. Like, oh my gosh, that's so big, so huge. So the 2 questions you need to ask about your topic are when and where. And if you can't tell me when and where, your topic's too broad. You can't do music, but you can do 70s rock and roll, right? But music's when and where. What music and where, right? You can't do fashion. It's too big. It's too big. But one person did like the impact of Versace Okay, that's narrow because that's a time and a place. That's a certain type of fashion. Excellent. But I had somebody else talk about fashion trends and how they change. Are you talking about in ancient China? Are you talking about in modern Paris? Right. So you need to ask yourself when and where. And if you can't answer those questions with your topic, if you don't know when and where, you need to figure out when and where. So we know what you're talking about. And most of you mean modern times, but you may not. Like another kiddo asked about technology. How has technology impacted blah, 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 blah. What technology? Do you mean like the creation of fire? The wheel? Domesticated animals? These are all technologies. Or do you mean Twitter, right? So when and where? What technology and when? Like what type? Where was it? And when was it? So a lot of you, I have that kind of pushback. Read my notes, go in and fix it. Another thing, technology came up a lot in these that was very vague. So especially if you ask technology, be specific. And I'm going to warn you, don't do social media. If you can help it, don't do social media. If you must, then you need to bring me something interesting. Don't ask, how has social media impacted us for better and worse? I get it. I get what you're gonna say. It's made us meaner, but it's brought us together. Like I've read that a million times. So if you're gonna do social media, do something new with it. But in general, technology can be anything. Right, the semiconductor. This is possible because of a semiconductor. Right, me talking to you right now. The internet is too big. Right, what specific? When you say technology, I want it to be something you can touch. So internet, you can't touch the internet. So because I guarantee it's gonna be easier to research something physical. And if that doesn't interest you, then that's fine. Pick a different topic. All right. So also questions. A lot of pushback I gave people on questions. The questions weren't specific enough. They asked things like, how did it get worse? What do you mean by worse? Talking about people starving? Are you talking about worse economically? Mental health? Are you talking about how did it get worse socially? Right? Did wars start? What do you mean worse? When you talk about like, how has child labor made things worse for children? But in what way? I mean, I'm not a big fan of child labor, but they're making money. That's a good thing, right? To some people. So what ways in particular are you talking about worse, right? And there are ways, but I want to hear you give me those specifics. So when you talk about better or worse, I gave pushback on people what they meant by that. I had a few people use words just kind of randomly. Like I knew that what the word they were using was not specific enough, and I'd push back and say, "What do you mean by this word? Be specific." So once again, read my comments. And then finally, the last thing is often people overlapped questions, meaning your questions were similar. So if I'm talking about construction, how has concrete changed construction, right? I don't know. Say I want to read about concrete, so I'm just making it up. But one of the questions could be, how has the development of concrete changed modern methods of construction? And also, how has the development of concrete made modern construction more effective? Well, to change it could mean to make it more effective. Those questions almost are the same thing. They're overlapping a lot. And I would like you to combine those and then ask a different question that's completely different about the use of concrete, right? So a lot of you are going to get feedback that I say your questions are too similar. You need to make them one question and then ask a second one that's different. All right, so hold on. So, okay, that's it. Your job now, there's no new assignment. In this Schoology assignment, all I want you to do is watch this video, upload, all you have to do is upload that you watched the video. So I watched the video. It's a free grade. It's a completion grade. Just upload that you watched the video. And then go back and fix that previous assignment. Go back and fix your previous assignment. And if you haven't completed the previous assignment, you're way behind. Catch up. So that's it. Look at my old notes on your last Schoology assignment, or your first one, the top one about the topic. Fix it. Also upload here that you watched the video. That's it. Then you're caught up. We're going to move forward with reviewing our sources next time, then new sources time after that. Bye, kiddos. Hopefully, we'll see you soon in person once the quarantine's over.